back. Today we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing integers. And much like we've done with several other concepts, we're going to talk about how multiplying and dividing integers can be divided into two separate scenarios. The first scenario is the same sign. So this would be a case where we would have like -4 times -3. Or we could have like 5 times 6. Notice, they have the same sign. Both are negative or both are positive. In this case, we would say anytime we have the same sign for multiplying, the answer is a positive number. And I'll abbreviate number with the pound sign. So if they have the same sign, either both negative or both positive, it's positive. If they have different signs, for example, -8 times 3, or 5 times -6. They have different signs, one positive, one negative. If they have different signs, then the answer will be negative. Same sign, positive. Different sign, negative. Let's talk about a little bit of a multiplying integers problem. A diver, meaning like a deep sea diver, is diving at a rate of 2 feet per second. Find the diver's relative position after 10 seconds. So for this, we need to know the distance, or how far we go, is equal to rate times time. For example, if you're driving 60 miles per hour for 2 hours, you drive 60 times 2, 120 miles. In this case, our rate is -2 feet per second, and I use that little slash for the per, and the time is 10 seconds. Using these two values, I have -2 feet each second times 10 seconds is going to give me, and this is where the new skill comes in, because how many feet I have is 20. But I used my rules to say, do they have the same sign or different sign? If they have the same sign, it's positive. But in this case, they have a different sign, so it must be negative. So my distance is -20 feet. Identity property and multiplication property. The identity property of multiplication is the number that you multiply by whatever it is to get that number. So 6 times what number equals 6? Well, x is obviously equal to 1. So 1 is the multiplicative identity. Multiplication property of 0, the product of a number and 0 is 0. 14 times 0 equals 0. 0 groups of 14 would be 0. Let's practice multiplying. When we practice multiplying, each of these has the question, what are the signs? I have 2 values, or 3 values, or 4 values. I'm comparing them in groups of 2. And so if I have -1 times 6, that means it's going to be 6, and they have different signs, so it's negative. And I'm going to put diff signs because they have different signs. Here they also have different signs, so it's going to be -16. Here we also have different signs, so it's going to be negative, but then I look at the numbers. -15 times 0. 0 groups of -15, so I know this is going to be 0, and 0 is not positive or negative. This one's a little bit trickier. In D, we want to use sets of 2. So number 1, 4 times negative 10. Different signs. So what I'll do is 4 times negative 10 would give me negative 40. And the second one would be negative 40 times negative 12. You see how I did that? I took one set of 2, found that answer. Then the second set of 2. Well, now I have the same sign, and so I know my answer is going to be positive, and 40 times negative 12 would be 40 times 10, which is 400, plus 40 times 2, which is 80. So this is going to be positive 480. Sets of 2. Let's do a little bit of algebra. Not algebra. This is algebra. Substituting in values for A, B, and C. Let's look at what we've got. A is 3, B is negative 4, C is negative 8. So watch how I substitute this. I'm going to put parentheses when I substitute. So this is going to be 3 squared plus parentheses when I substitute, negative 4 times negative 8. See how I substituted all those in? Once again, this falls under that umbrella of PEMDAS, of order of operations. And so I need to do my exponents first. Well, 3 squared would be 3 times 3 equals 9. So I have 9 plus negative 4 times negative 8. And now I'm going to do multiplication and division left to right. So I have negative 4 times negative 8. I know that my answer is going to be positive because I have the same sign. So this is going to be 9 plus a positive 32. Well, 9 plus 32 is going to equal 41, and that's my answer. You try the second one. For you. Okay, you try the second one. We'll talk about it in class. Moving right along to division. You're going to look at this and you're going to say, my, that is really, really familiar. Because in division, it has the same rules. Same sign is positive. Different signs, negative. Use sets of 2 numbers. So if you have more than 2 numbers, you're going to have to take them in sets of 2 to determine the sign. Then it just becomes a game of knowing your math facts. I've got 8 of them here. Alrighty, 8 of them. I'm going to do 4, you're going to do 4. Negative 40 divided by negative 8, same sign. So it's positive. And 40 divided by 8 equals positive 5. That's my answer. Same thing here. Don't let those parentheses fool you. It's really just negative 14 divided by 2. I have different signs. It's going to be negative 7 because 14 divided by 2 is 7. And so in this one, don't be confused because there's a negative sign in the second number. It's still just a set of 2 numbers with different signs. So I'm going to have a negative answer, and 36 divided by 9 is 4. Last one on this row. 0 divided by negative 7. Here's a little special case. 0 in the numerator means the answer is 0. It's like saying 0 out of whatever number. 0 out of 5. Well, you got a 0. What about 0 out of 8? 0. What about 0 out of negative 8? 0. What about 0 out of negative 7? 0. So the numerator is how many you have. The bottom is how many groups you divide it into. So if you have 0 of an object, you can't divide them into any amount of groups. And so 0 in the numerator is always 0. So my answer here is going to be 0, regardless of sign. Because remember, 0 is not positive or negative. That's the basic gist of it, guys. In example 1.5, these are 4 U. Determine those signs, then find that answer using your math facts. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.